there, everybody! This is Zoticos, and welcome to another installment of Monday Wait a second. I didn't think of a title for this one, so let's go with, this is Thursday stuff. Wait, no!
So the first thing you're going to want is a whole bunch of flowers. I have here a whole bunch of yellow and sunflowers because that's what my friend really loves. The next thing you're going to need is some wire. I have a very thin wire because it's just easier for me to use. This is just me showing you all the flowers that I have, including what I'm going to be using and stuff from my bin that I have, and also me discovering that I accidentally filmed this upside down. Woo! So this is me actually cutting the flowers. Like I said before, I push the leaves down all the way to the bottom because I like to use the maximum amount of stem, and for the most part, I sometimes don't even use the leaves because they're just not as nice, or they're just shaped bizarrely, and it doesn't really work with the flower crown or idea that I'm trying to focus on. And once I'm done cutting them all, I like to bunch them all together and put them off in a small corner so that way I can focus on them later. See, I actually really like these leaves on the sunflower, so I decided that I was going to actually keep them so that I could use them in the crown. And this is me showing you how, after I take the leaves off of these sunflowers, there's this little nub that I don't really like, so I like to go in and I like to trim it off, because if I put that in the flower crown, then you're going to have all these little nubs hanging around and not being cool at all and just being really awful, so I like to cut as close as I possibly can. So once all the flowers are cut up off of their bases and the leaves are separated and everything, I like to make a long piece of wire. And I usually take the flower and bend it about an inch from the head of the flower. And once I have that, I choose whatever piece I feel like and I attach it onto the other flower, and I wrap the wire around it so that way it stays close and it stays fairly flat when it goes against your head at last. And I just start adding more and more flowers and different leaves to it in any sort of fashion that I want, or any sort of pattern that I would like. Keep doing this for a while, and sometimes it's more of a pattern, sometimes it's more random, but today I decided to do a pattern, and I ended up putting all these sunflower leaves facing up, so it's sort of like a wreath rather than just a flower crown. I do like to use a variety of flowers, just because it's kind of boring if you have like the same flower over and over again. And I do like to have my flower crowns very large and very voluptuous, so I like to pack in the flowers really tightly closed, so I end up using a lot of flowers. And I even still put every single flower at sort of a little bend, even the sunflowers, every time I add on a new one. So now that I've done quite a bit of wrapping around and adding more flowers, I decided I wanted to add a butterfly. I'm only adding one, and I want to make sure that it looks like it's sort of resting on one of the sunflowers, just to add a little bit of pop of color aside from the small pink flowers that I have throughout the crown. I continue adding more and more flowers. So here we have our nearly finished flower crown. It goes all the way around, except that now is the time to attach one end to the other. This part I actually find a little tricky just because I've always found it tricky and I like to snip off the wire here. And what I end up doing is I snip and trim the end wires so that way they aren't too long. Now, I didn't do a very good job at showing you what I was doing because I'm very, very, very bad at trying to figure out where the camera is on my phone, so you really just get a lovely shot of my iced tea and my pepper shaker. But as I was saying, it is very tight, so I was trying to push it in all into one area, and after I finish wrapping it all up, I like to use my wire cutter and try and push in the tip into the plastic parts of the flower stems, so that way the tip is inward rather than outward, so it doesn't scratch anyone's head. And that's it. There's your finished flower crown. Stay awesome, stay you, and thanks for watching. Bye!
I didn't plan that out.